Hello everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel. In today's video, I am sharing a fun foil and ink resist technique using Therm O Web's brand new partnership with Laura Kelly. If you've never seen Laura Kelly's designs, she has some of the cutest doodle hand-drawn images. In this new partnership, they've created an entire line of new toner sheets. And just a reminder, if you've never seen those before, anything that is black on the toner sheets can have foil adhered to it. They've also added brand new foil colors to the collection that are bright and fun. Last but not least, there are two new stamp sets that can be combined with these toner sheets and bright foiled colors. So let's dive right into how you can use these products and how you can use foiling as an ink resist. All of the toner designs come printed on a nice smooth white cardstock, makes them a really good candidate for ink blending over the foiling. Here are all the new foil colors as well. You can see there's basically a new bright rainbow that's available plus a really nice shiny silver. So when you're foiling, you're going to put the silver side of your foil down onto the toner side of the cardstock, and the color is going to be facing up towards you. Once you have that set, you're going to place it inside a piece of parchment paper folded in half to create that little sandwich that's going to protect it from getting all tangled up and rumpled in your laminator. You don't want your laminator to get jammed. So make sure you heat up your laminator quite a bit, and then once it goes through, the foil adheres to the toner and it creates that beautiful color and shine on all the parts that used to be black on these toner sheets. Absolutely love this way to foil. It's super easy. The designs are pre-made for you. It just makes it a lot of fun. And I do all my foiling up front. For this first card, I took 2 pieces of the Baby Swiss Dots toner sheets and I foiled one with the silver, and I am ink blending over top of the foiled silver dots with Salvaged Patina. And you can see how smoothly that ink goes on top. If you get any ink on the foiled spots, just take a dry towel and buff it away, and then you'll see all of that foil resists the ink. So the second sheet of Baby Swiss Dots, I foiled with some Sunshine Yellow, and I'm going to ink blend Squeezed Lemonade Distress Oxide on top. Again, once I've ink blended, I do just take a dry towel and wipe away any of the ink that might remain on those little foiled dots, and so you get a beautiful ink blended background with lots of shine on top. I'm going to die cut out a scalloped rectangle with a waffle flower rectangle die, and then I'm going to use the Kindness on Purpose stamp set. This is the new Laura Kelly for Therm O Web stamp set. It's a 6x8 stamp set with lots of cute images like this little cupcake, and it's got some cute sentiments like sprinkle kindness here. I did die cut another rectangle in a piece of white cardstock so that I could stamp this with some Gina K Designs amalgam ink, which is Copic friendly. I'm going to do some very basic Copic coloring. So I'm going to just stamp this out until I get a nice dark black impression. And I had recently just refilled that ink pad and it did such a good job. I had forgotten how dry it had actually gotten. Now to do some basic Copic coloring for this cupcake, I am going to just do that kind of outline on the heart and then color in the center with a lighter color. For the icing, I'm kind of doing the reverse. I'm doing the lightest color, which is the BG 40s marker, and then I'm going to outline it in BG01, and then I'm going to use some BG45 to fill in the sprinkles. I have listed all of the Copic markers that I used down in the YouTube description box below, so it will be really obvious which ones I used where. Now I'm going to color in the cupcake liner, and basically what I did for this was just draw some lines in my darker orange right next to the stamped lines, and then I kind of blended those harsh lines out with the lighter color, which actually was a Y, not a YR, but I thought they went really well together. So you can sometimes cross those boundaries as well. And I decided that the icing needed just a little more color, so I did go in again with that light BG just to fill it in, and the more times you layer on color, the darker it will get. I did that technique again where I just put dots of that light color all around. I just really like that. And then I used a neutral 0 to add a hint of a shadow underneath the cupcake, and then decided I wanted more of those little confetti dots. So I used the next color BG, I think it was the BG01, to add some slightly darker dots on that. And it just looks so much fun with the sprinkle kindness and those dots all around the cupcake. I did add some white gel pen details because that's just one of those things. If it's a really simple colored image, a little bit of white gel details goes a long way, just adds some extra fun to it, I think. So this card is going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to adhere the scalloped Salvaged Patina with the silver foil down with some tape runner onto the Swiss dots with the Sunshine Yellow and the Squeeze Lemonade, and that's going to be matted on top of that. And then I am going to use a little bit of foam squares to fill in behind this little rectangle here. Now, these new foam squares from Therm O Web are my favorite because they are super easy to get the release paper off of, and I really just like the depth of them. They're kind of in between very thin and way too thick. Like they're kind of that perfect Goldilocks level of foam squares behind your paper there. So it really just pops it up, I think, just enough. So I'm going to use these on top of the ink blended scalloped Salvaged Patina rectangle there. I decided I did want some actual confettis on there. So I'm using my Nuvo embellishment tool, and I'm going to pick up some Pretty Pink Posh clear confetti, and then I'm going to use the iCraft Ultra Bond adhesive, which you all know is my favorite liquid adhesive, but now it comes in a pen format. It is really nice because it's not so tiny amount of glue that you need to buy it all the time. It does have a full ounce in there. So I see this lasting me quite a long time actually, but it's just really easy to hand hold that pen shape. And I just really love the ink resist technique with those foiled backgrounds, turning those white cardstock pieces into colorful ones with foiling. For this card, we're going to use the Spotty Dots toner sheet with the berry purple foil sheet, and then I'm ink blending with Kitsch Flamingo Distress Oxide ink. I am using a domed foam blender and just covering up the entire panel and then just wiping away any of the ink that ended up on the foil so that it can really shine through, but it does resist the inking so that you can just wipe it away. And look at all of that shine, and now we have all that color. I'm going to use a smaller scalloped rectangle this time, hold it in place with some purple tape and run it through my die cut machine. I'm going to make a shaker card. So I've put it on top of a A2 piece of white cardstock, and I'm using a pencil to go around the inside of the frame so I know where to stamp my images. I'm going to stamp some images with the Me and My Peeps stamp set, and I am again using the Gina K Amalgam ink in Obsidian. I did get some pencil where I don't want it, obviously, so I'm going to use one side of the Tombow eraser that erases pencil marks to erase my pencil marks. And then I did smear some ink while I was doing that, so I had to go back with the other side of the eraser, which is a sand eraser, which erases ink. Just be sure that the ink dries before you try to erase it. And now I'm going to use some Copic markers. This is kind of one of my favorite, I think, reigns of Copic markers to create a rainbow. I like the really bright colors, so I tend to try to create my rainbows with the brightest of the colors. But I am also going to color in the little girl figure, the woman figure here, and do just some basic hair, and then I used the same pink from the rainbow on her dress and shoes and on that little heart as well. Those are all separate stamps. I just kind of pulled them all together because I thought they would be cute inside this really bright purple and pink shaker window. just quickly add some curlicues of color with the BG Quad Zero just for a hint of color there. I'm going to use the Judikins Embossable Window Plastic. I'm going to use tape runner to adhere the frame down to that acetate piece, which is an A2 piece. The frame is a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to use some nonstick scissors and kind of tuck them just underneath the frame so I can cut the acetate just a little bit smaller than the frame. I did get a little pink outside the dress, so I'm using my colorless blender to push that color back inside the dress. I was having trouble with the brush tip, so I flipped it over. I have put a bullet tip on my colorless blender. I find it easier to push the color in with the bullet tip a lot of times. So that's just a tip from me about erasing color. And this is the new large foam roll from Therm O Web. I'm going to use that to go all around the outside of my shaker frame. I just need the ends of each piece of foam tape to hit the last piece. As long as they're right next to each other, you should have no problems. I don't need to double these up this time because my shaker goodies are very tiny and also very flat. So I'm just going to pour them right in the center of my design there, and then just make sure they're really centered so there's nothing kind of all around the outside to mess with your foam tape. Peel off the back protective layers of that foam tape and then line this up right on top. There's going to be a border because I had trimmed this frame down, but I liked the white border around the whole edge. And this is one of my favorite techniques. This ink blending over those foiled toner sheets with that resist is such an easy way to take those toner sheets and customize them to be exactly the way you want them to be and what colors you would love them to be. Aren't the Laura Kelly designs just so cute? I feel like these could be used in a bunch of different ways in planners or scrapbooks and of course on cards. And I hope you'll give the foil ink resist technique a try. If you want to see more ways to use foiling in your card making, check out this video over here. As always, I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. Hello everyone. What is going on with the hair? Partnership, that's the word. Partnership. It's not a tough word.